We are Blackboard. We are St. Louis.
This is St. Louis Cardinals baseball. Tonight from downtown St. Louis in Busch Stadium. Game number 2 of the 3-game weekend series. The Cincinnati Reds and the St. Louis Cardinals. Jim Hayes is here. That's Brad Thompson. I'm Dan McLaughlin. The Cardinals again will turn to another rookie. More on that in a moment with Daniel Ponce de Leon. The rookies collectively really doing the job for St. Louis.
Well, we knew this was a talented group that the St. Louis Cardinals has. We know this month has been fantastic, but look at the numbers these young rookie starters have put up compared to some of the best in the league. They are right in line, and one of the biggest reasons this team has had the success they've had this month.
Combined, they're 13-6, and Daniel Ponce de Leon will go tonight, July 23rd at Cincinnati. 7 no-hit innings.
Well, a long-awaited debut for Daniel Ponce de Leon, and he made the most of it. His last start against the Dodgers, he battled, and he was great as well. Looking forward to tonight.
Rosters, they've been expanded around baseball. Some coming off the DL like Marcell Ozuna. The reinforcements are here. lapels, and wristbands in the ball game tonight. It's game number 2. The Cincinnati Reds and the St. Louis Cardinals. Paul DeYoung drove in 5 last night. Along with Brad Thompson and Jim Hayes, I'm Dan McLaughlin. And this is Cardinals baseball on Fox Sports Midwest. September is here in a pennant race. It's all you want, a chance to compete late and have a chance to get in the playoffs. And the Cardinals have put themselves in a position to do that.
Well, they are in the driver's seat. It's great to get at this point of the year and realize that you need to take care of your business. We can scoreboard watch. We got into this last night, but this team, they just keep doing what they're doing. They keep rolling out these wins. They're going to find themselves in some October baseball.
Daniel Ponce de Leon making his 3rd major league start, 8th appearance this year. His debut was against the Reds July 23rd. 7 no-hit innings. He threw 116 pitches, removed in that game, took a no decision, and a look at his Hyundai pitch arsenal.
Well, you'll see Ponce's fastball in the mid-90s, got a really nice cutter, and the changeup is very effective as well. He works inside well to both sides of the plate and really competes out there.
At the top of the lineup for Jim Riggleman's club, the speedster, the switch hitter. They have him at the top of the lineup, and that's Billy Hamilton, their center fielder. Followed by Jose Peraza, then Joey Votto. Scooter Gennett batting cleanup. Eugenio Suarez, Scott Schebler, Phillip Ervin, Tucker Barnhart, and Luis Castillo, the pitcher, batting 9th. Jim Riggleman still with that interim tag associated with his job, and he's got a month still to go and trying to get this thing right.
Yeah, still a lot to prove for this ball club overall. I do believe they've responded under Jim Riggleman. I know the record's not exactly where the Reds would like it to be, but they've played a little bit better baseball. And you got to hope for Jim Riggleman. I mean, he's a baseball lifer. I think he's a great leader. Maybe that ends up being his gig full time.
So Daniel Ponce de Leon, last start was against the Dodgers at the major league level, then went back down to the minor leagues. Billy Hamilton digs in, hitting .244 with 4 home runs, and he's driven in 28. And the first pitch swung on and missed, and we're underway here in game 2 in a big crowd on this Saturday night. Energy, you can feel it here at the ballpark.
Oh, no question about it. It's been like that for the last couple of weeks, but certainly here it's September, you know it's go time.
0-1 pitch, make it 0-2. Redbird rookies all over that win last night, the hitters and the pitchers. 8 innings, 2 earned runs combined with Gomber and Jordan Hicks, couple of rookies, and then finished up late. Hicks pitched out of a jam in the 8th, and the Cardinals blew it open in the bottom half. 0-2, swung on and missed. Good changeup, and the first strikeout of the night for Daniel Ponce de Leon. Cardinals defensively around the horn is presented by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. O'Neill, Bader, and Martinez in the outfield. Carpenter, DeYoung, Munoz, and Adams along the infield. And Yadier Molina is behind the plate. So 3 pitches and a strikeout for Ponce de Leon, and it brings in Peraza. Hitting .287, 9 home runs, and he's driven in 45. The 6:15 starts. We've talked about this a lot, especially in the middle of the summer. The second baseman and the right fielder, you battle the sun. And right now it's Harrison Bader battling the sun as well in center. There's your right fielder in Jose Martinez.
It's kind of hard to get any reps out there too. It would be nice to say, well, practice it, try to get out there. You really can't get out there at this time. It's all about trying to get yourself in a good position to make the catch. Sometimes you got to get to the side of it, get around it, but it'll be a challenge nonetheless.
1 ball and 2 strikes. Into center. Bader is there. First 2 retired, and it brings in Joey Votto. We saw in the last start Daniel Ponce de Leon in Los Angeles, back in his hometown, pitching against a team he grew up cheering for at Dodger Stadium. was really emotional. I mean, he was fired up to the point that after the game he said, I needed to apologize to my teammates.
It happens.
Coming from you, you understand that.
Yes, I do. He's got some compete. He's got he likes to battle, he likes to fight, and he battled out of some big time jams in that game.
And a strike to Votto. And the 0-1 pitch to Joey. Taken high. Votto this season compared to last year through September 1st. Average down, the home runs down, and the runs batted in. Cardinals have essentially tried to pitch around him if it's a dangerous spot. A lot of walks, 20 plus for Votto against St. Louis this year.
Well, the track record tells you that's not a terrible idea. You know the damage that he can do, and even though the numbers have been down this year, you realize that that can change in a heartbeat. We've seen him put together so many great at-bats over the years.
What a player. The Cardinals win tonight, 11th consecutive series win. That would set an all-time franchise record. The 1-2 swung on and missed, and he struck him out. A 1-2-3 for Daniel Ponce de Leon with strikeouts of Hamilton and Votto. Cardinals coming up in the home half of the first. With home run number 35 last night. Broke a 2-2 tie. Kept it fair. Hit down the right field line. What an amazing year it has been for Carpenter, who has reached base safely now in 11 of his last 20 plate appearances. 4 doubles, a home run over that 5-game span. He's at the top, followed by Yadier Molina and Jose Martinez. Matt Adams batting cleanup. Tyler O'Neill, Paul DeYoung, Harrison Bader, Jairo Munoz, and Daniel Ponce de Leon. First pitch to Carpenter, hit out of play. Luis Castillo is on the mound for Cincinnati, and it's start number 27 in his second full big league season. Here's the 0-1 pitch to Carpenter. Hyundai pitch arsenal, Brad Thompson. What does he feature?
Well, Luis Castillo's got a good fastball. He can run it up there in the mid-90s. Has some good arm side sink. His changeup, though, that is the out pitch. When he gets to 2 strikes, you'll see that a lot. And he's got a good slider. The big thing for him is just being able to pump strikes. When he falls behind, he gets in a lot of trouble. I mean, not unlike most pitchers out there. But when he's ahead, he can be deadly.
It's a ball and 2 strikes on Carpenter. Fans still filing in. And Carpenter reaches for it, and a base hit beats the ship. Leadoff hit for Matt Carpenter. And we turn to Brad Thompson's Toyota key to the game.
Well, so far so good. Jump on them early. It was nice to see the Cardinals bounce back after giving up 2 in the first inning yesterday. That was great, but it would be nice to be able to jump on their starter. Jump on Luis Castillo, a young pitcher. You put him in the hole, put some pressure on him, and hopefully be able to get into that bullpen early tonight.
Cardinals did that last night, beat on the Reds bullpen late, and eventually put up 12 runs in the ball game. And ball 1 to Yadier Molina. You'll notice lately, and it started against the Reds, where Molina will reach across home plate and touch the opposite side. Just like that. And what that is, a reminder for him to keep his front shoulder in. That's why he's doing that. Runner goes, hit and run was on, and a throw down to second base. Carpenter is safe. It's a stolen base, sliding to the outside portion of the bag, and hopefully he's all right.
He gets a decent jump right here. Yachty just trying to put it in play. Nice slide to the backside of the bag. Watch these fingers here. Just jam straight in.
Those bags don't move. Not a lot of give. And see the fingers get jammed, and it's stolen base number 3 for Carpenter. 1 ball, 1 strike on Molina. 2 strikes. He had 4 stolen bases in 2015, and that's his career high in a season. Here's a 1-2. Cardinals trying to strike first, and a strikeout of Molina. Good fastball, and you talked about it, Brad. He can get it up there.
Yeah, he really can, and I don't think that's exactly where he was trying to throw that, but usually at 99 down in the zone, it really doesn't matter. You get him looking for off speed there with 2 strikes. 99 away is going to be very effective.
Jose Martinez reached base 5 times last night. 3rd time he's done that this year. Only Mookie Betts and Giancarlo Stanton have done that more than 3 times this season. Average at .314. That front leg for Martinez actually is outside the box. His last 7 games, red hot. 12 for 27, couple of doubles, a home run, and he's driven in 5.
Well, you mentioned it last night. I'm not sure that there is a more underrated hitter in this league. The numbers that he's putting up, the consistency that's been there. Especially when we know his role has changed throughout the year. There was a portion where he just wasn't getting the ABs. He wasn't getting the starts. Now he forced his way right back into the lineup. But he has just been consistent the entire season. Really has been ever since he got the opportunity in the big leagues.
He's 3rd in the league in hitting at .314. Yelich and Jeanette at .317. Outfield straight away in an 0-2 pitch. He's such a big guy. He's 6'7". The front leg, he's off the plate even more, it looks like tonight, but the front leg, at least in the first couple of pitches, the toe is inside the box, and the heel, that area of the foot, is on the chalk. So he's closed it up a bit here with 2 strikes.
You would think with a guy like Jose Martinez too, just trying to face him, that there are so many moving parts that you'd be able to take advantage of, potentially inside, eat him up, and you just can't. He covers everything so well.
And now time called by Barnhart. One ball and 2 strikes. Martinez pops it up. That'll find the seats out of play. Cardinals wrap up the homestand tomorrow. Then it's off to Washington for 3, off day. And then we'll be in Detroit, Comerica Park for interleague play. And after that, the Cardinals have 2 road trips, and both those trips are only 3 games. Won through Atlanta and finish up the year at Wrigley Field. Here's a 1-2. So back-to-back strikeouts, and it brings in Adams. Around the Horn is presented by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. Urban in left, Hamilton in center, Shebler is in right. Suarez, Peraza, Jeanette, and Votto along the infield. Tucker Barnhart behind the plate. The Reds have dropped 8 of their last 9 games. They've allowed 67 runs in those games. Here's Matt Adams. So you're talking about 5-6 runs a game. Last night it was 12. Hasn't been pretty.
Did you do that math on your own?
Quickly.
That's really good.
It's called research and preparation, Brad.
It's nice. Novel.
You just can't show up and just rely on the fact that you're Brad Thompson.
Oh, so it's personal now.
It is.
Okay.
There's a ground ball hit to Votto. And over to cover the bag, Castillo. It's my partner tonight. He's doing a great job. My buddy Brad Thompson. Cardinals baseball without Jim Hayes. Jimmy, what do you have?
Thank you very much, Danny. Mike Schilt had some interesting things to say about Daniel Ponce de Leon's last start. As you guys mentioned, it was just his second big league start, and it was in his hometown of Los Angeles in front of a ton of family and friends. He went 4 innings, gave up just 1 run, struck out 8. Mike Schilt told me this of that start. He was relentless in the way he was attacking. As you guys pointed out, Ponce was amped in that game. There were some defensive mishaps behind him and plenty of chirping on both sides. Ponce de Leon may have been a bit too animated. Schilt told me the thing I appreciate is he was honest about it and admitted he needed to do a better job channeling that energy. Dan Schilt also told me he admired Ponce, saying he never backed down. He actually got more aggressive. They love the way Ponce goes after guys, Dan.
Yeah, there's no doubt he's done a good job. Rotation, bullpen. Brad, you were saying you actually kind of appreciate a guy with that kind of streak.
Well, I would just rather somebody have that side of it, erring on that side, than the tentative side, maybe more meek, and you end up getting in a situation like that where you need a little extra something and you don't have it there.
Got inside, slowly hit. Munoz makes the play. It's one of those plays where the pitcher might get it. Second baseman rushing in. Matt Adams, he's thinking, do I go after it? It all worked out.
Well, communication is key, and it did work out, and it all started with a great pitch executed right here on the inner half. Just saws off Scooter Jeanette. Very nice play right there.
Tough arm angle to make that throw, and you don't want to throw it too hard. You're so close.
Yeah, you're kind of caught in between right there. It's easy when you're closer. It's a little flip. If you're further away, you can let it eat. It's a nice little balance. And Munoz has done a great job bouncing all over the infield.
Sure has. And right now, Munoz is actually at the outfield grass near the second base bag for Suarez, who's had a monster year with 30 home runs, and he's driven in 96. A fastball taken high, 2-0. Cardinals come into play 76 and 59. The 2-0. Adams giving chase. That'll drop foul. Well, the Cardinals have the best record in baseball since Mike Shildt took over. 29 and 13. 22 wins in August, their most in a single month since the 1968 team won 24 in July. From all corners of this organization, you're hearing so many positive things about Mike Shildt.
Oh, no question. And the beautiful thing about this is it's all aspects of this team that have been clicking.
And the 3-1 hit out of play. For instance, since he took over, the Cardinals lowest ERA. They've scored the most runs, and the BP brighter picture, he's winning. I mean, that combination of low ERA, scoring the most runs, players getting it done, and Mike Shildt quick to deflect all attention to the guys on the field.
Well, I can do that, Matt. You give up less runs, you score a bunch of them, you're going to win a lot of ball games. But this club is confident right now, and they believe in everything. And as we saw last night early on, as Ponce gets another punch out right there, his third in the game. So this team just never feels like they're out of it. Something bad happens, who cares? See a nice cutter right here up in the zone. Ends up getting him.
And it brings in Schebler, and he seemed to be locked in last night. He was a triple away from the cycle, hit a long home run, and his outs were loud, hard hit. So 2 outs and nobody on. And the 0-1. Schebler hits it out to right center, and there's Bader, makes the catch. 6 up, 6 down. Coming up, O'Neill, DeYoung, and Bader. catch every moment this season. Cardinals home screen icons and features such as the MLB.TV Game of the Day. Download MLB at Bat right now. Well, Daniel Ponce de Leon has thrown a no-no against the Reds. 7 innings last time out, 2 scoreless, no hits tonight.
I got to tell you, your math has been on point today too. It really has. No, he's looked.
That one was tough, huh?
Yeah, I know it. He's looked very impressive. He's just confident in his stuff, and he pounds the strike zone. He attacks with his fastball. We've seen a punch out with the changeup already. First batter of the game, very good one.
Gets away with the fastball up, doesn't he?
He's deceptive. He really hides the ball well.
O'Neill hits it to third, and Suarez makes the play. Career high 5 runs batted in for Paul DeJong last night. 3-on-1 swing of the bat. Home run number 15. And then drove in 2 more late. Paulo Asensio and Benji Molina working on the Spanish radio broadcast tonight. And their pregame guest may surprise you. There they are, good guys. But their pregame guest, Paul DeJong, in Spanish.
He speaks Spanish?
He speaks Spanish.
Of course he does.
Backhanded by Suarez, and Votto stays on the bag. Paul apparently tells his Spanish-speaking teammates, speak to me in Spanish. He learned some as a young kid. And Paulo was telling me that his Spanish is just outstanding. He said it's not quick, but the verbiage, the right tense, all that is there. And by the way, they're a lot of fun. And he said Paul has been great.
That's awesome.
Yeah, pretty cool.
I wish I'd have taken Spanish.
I think more and more teams need to have the English kids learn Spanish, and then vice versa.
Well, the Marlins are doing it. One of their new initiatives. And I really believe it would be handy. You always figure out ways to communicate anyhow. Like baseball is a language of its own. It's a beautiful thing. But it would be nice to have just regular conversations on both sides, especially in the lower minor leagues. I think it's a great place to start it.
Cardinals do have it with their young Spanish-speaking kids to take classes and learn English. That's part of the curriculum, if you will, in the Cardinals organization. And the guys on the Spanish side, they've got nicknames for everybody, and they call Paul the Prince, and he likes it.
Of course he does.
I bet he does.
I would like the Prince too.
Here's a 1-2 pitch.
Dan, I took 4 years of French.
And you know none of it.
Wow. Un petit peu. A little bit is what they say. But I didn't play with anybody that spoke French.
No.
So it really didn't help out in this line of work.
Probably not.
Well,
Al is still learning English.
I think it'll come along.
Here's a 3-2. Al, you know I'm kidding. I would have said that if you were here. Maybe. The local kid that signed with the Blues, Pat Maroon. Blues hockey right around the corner. We're going to talk it over with Pat when we come back. we hope tonight, but he's not here.
I got
At least not right now.
I got a feeling Pat Maroon signing autographs his entire way up here. People are excited in this city about him being here, being home, and playing for his hometown Blues.
Phillip Ervin at the plate, and so we're underway here in the top of the third. Come on in here, Pat. Come on. He just showed up. Here's a 1-0 pitch, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Good to see you. We're on live just to let you know. Hi, Anthony. Nice to see you. His son Anthony is with us. 1 ball and 1 strike. Well, welcome back home. You excited?
Yeah, I'm really excited.
We're just going to throw you right in the fray. Is that okay?
That's okay. That happens.
It does. So you went to Oakville High School, right?
Yep.
Okay, you're from the area.
From St. Louis, from South County.
And now you're back playing for the Blues.
I'm back playing with the Blues, and I can't be more excited.
Is it a dream come true? Did you always want to play for the Blues?
Yeah, it's obviously, growing up playing hockey, it's always been a dream of mine, but I think I really didn't think it was going to come true.
Yeah.
So it's obviously now I get to put the Blue Note jersey on. I'm very excited about that.
And you get to be with this guy a little bit more too.
I do. I get to be with him instead of being away from him for 9 months. I get to be a full year. So I know he's excited. I know his dad's excited. So it's going to be a really good year for certainly me and him and my family also.
Anthony, you look pretty good on camera. You notice yourself on TV? That's awesome. Did you grow up a Cardinals fan?
I did. Baseball is one of my favorite sports. I love coming to the games. I love enjoying watching. I can only sit behind the home plate because I like watching the pitchers do their thing.
Who's this little guy that turned into a big guy?
Well, that was me when I was big. Now I'm skinny. But that was back in the days in Oakville in high school. The year we went to state and we lost to CBC. Those were some fun times. Obviously, they're in London Knights there. But it's been good.
Here's a ground ball to third, handled by Carpenter. I'm curious, your favorite Blues player growing up?
Adam Oates.
Adam Oates. That's a pretty good one.
Yeah, I think he was just when my dad used to take us. I think he was the one that always stood out.
Hall and Oates.
Hall and Oates. Yeah, you can't complain with that combo.
Absolutely. Did you go to a lot of Blues games as a kid?
Yeah, we did. We went to the old arena a lot, and we parked right next to the railroad tracks there.
Did you really?
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah, those were some fun times. So we used to double up. All of our brothers used to double up, and it was a fun time.
6'3", 225, 30 years old, and now back in St. Louis with the Blues, and that's Patrick Maroon. Here's a 1-0 pitch. I can't imagine playing for your hometown team. What have the requests been like in friends and family? What are they hearing about you coming back home?
Yeah, everyone's excited. I think it hasn't really hit me yet. When we had that ballpark village thing, when I put the jersey on for the first time, and the fans kind of were cheering, I think that kind of really hit home for me, and realizing that, you know, I'm staying home this year, and it's going to be a really good year. And certainly we have a really good team on paper, and I hope we have a good year.
Yeah, how do you like the team?
I like the team a lot. I think we have 4 really good centers, and I think most importantly, that's what you need in the NHL now. You need 4 deep centers that can take you a long way, and I'm excited about that.
What was it like when you came back as a visitor to play the Blues?
It was awesome. Obviously, you guys have that moment where I kind of teared up a little bit. I haven't seen Anthony in about 4 months, 5 months, and I got to score a goal against my hometown, and my hometown that I used to grow up watching. It was my favorite team growing up, and it was really neat. I always had 40, 50 people coming to every game, so it was a neat experience, and now I get the chance to put that sweater on and play for my home team.
Did you play a lot of baseball as a kid?
I played a little bit here and there, but I was no good at it. Obviously, if you saw my first pitch, I was not a good thrower.
Well, I would just say it wasn't great.
It was terrible.
But I'm not about to say anything mean to you, because you'd probably throw me out of the booth, and I don't need that. There's a fly ball lifted out to left field, and the catch will be made for out number 2. So but you did grow up a Cardinal fan.
Yeah, I did. I grew up a diehard Cardinal fan, and I was here when they won in 2011 when I was playing with the St. Louis Bandits, and we got the chance to witness them win the World Series. Don't make fun of my throw, please.
That's a great throw. Okay, that was awesome.
Fred Bird even gave it a little strike.
Favorite player growing up with the Cardinals?
Ozzie Smith.
Oh yeah, mine too. I mean, you got to love the Wizard, right?
You got to just what he used to do before you come out here in the
little
first game. Little backflip.
Opening day. Yeah, there it is right there.
There you go. And I got the chance to play with him in golf in a Pro-Am tournament, so that was pretty neat.
That's awesome. I would imagine coming back to your hometown, I guess there's pressures with it, but you know, you've been in the league to where you say, well, this is more going to be fun for me because my son's here, my family's here. I'm going to enjoy it.
Yeah, you know, I'm at that age now where I'm kind of grown up and matured, and then my son's at that age now where he's 9, and it's just really going to be a really good year, and I'm really excited about that. I'm matured, and like you said, I've been in the league for a while now, and I want to win. And I feel like if I was going to go on a 1-year deal, this is going to be an opportunity for me to have a good chance to win.
Here's an 0-2 pitch to Castillo. And a strikeout. Mind sticking around a half inning?
No, that's fine.
You got it. Patrick Maroon, one of the newest Blues, and a hometown kid back in St. Louis. There's no score. Barnes Jewish Hospital and Washington University, physicians, national leaders in medicine. And by Toyota, let's go places. So Blues fans always in the seats here at the ballpark supporting the Cardinals and the Blues. Patrick Maroon, our guest. His son Anthony is our top statistician for the night. Keeping us in line. What do you think about all the guys that are coming from St. Louis and are making it now to the National Hockey League? It's unbelievable, isn't it?
It really is unbelievable, and I think it's awesome for not only St. Louis hockey, but it's also for the communities too to see what St. Louis hockey is now. It didn't used to be a hockey hotbed, and now it is. Everyone talks about it all the time, and it's good to see.
Do you think it's because of the former Blues staying in town and coaching the kids?
Yeah, I think so. I think they're a good alumni base. People staying in town, like you said, and all their kids now are growing up and they're playing in the AAA organization groups now, and they have good coaching. I think when I was 12 years old, I had Jeff Brown as a coach, and he played for the St. Louis Blues.
Sure.
I had Kelly Chase, and when you have those guys that are always in your ear, I mean, you're going to find ways to adapt to that. So, and with good culture and good guys with good background, you're going to get good coaching, and you're going to go a long way with that.
Jairo Munoz at the plate. Could you beat up Chaser?
No, but I'll give him a good run.
You give him a good run, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I would. I think so.
You think he'd accept that answer?
Yeah, I think so.
You think so? Okay, good.
He would love to do it too. He tells me all the time.
He definitely would. And that's tap foul by Munoz. I'm curious with the guys that you watched with the Blues. You mentioned Oates, but then there was the generation of Dimitra, Kachuk,
McKinnis, Pronger. Were you into that group at all,
Yeah,
or were you
I was.
mostly playing?
No, I was into that group too. I mean, when they won the President's Trophy that year and
Yeah.
they lost in the first round, I mean, that was probably one of the best teams you'll ever see go through St. Louis, but obviously nothing got done. But, I mean, those were one of the best times. Pierre Turgeon, Dimitra. I mean, you can go down the list of how many good players they had, and that was pretty cool for St. Louis hockey. And I feel like that's when St. Louis hockey kind of was taken off that year.
You thought about opening night and putting on that sweater and maybe looking up and seeing your son in the stands?
Yeah, I thought about it a lot. I think it's going to be very special. Probably be a little emotional. I'm a little nervous walking out of that tunnel, and just
really, after all these years, still.
Yeah, I think as athletes, those are the proudest moments. Walking out and opening night and putting that jersey on if you're hometown or either you're playing for a team you just signed with. I think going out there and seeing your family and friends and knowing that you're putting a sweater on that you love doing for a living and the team that you're going to play for, and seeing your family and friends in the stands, it still gets a little emotional. So obviously this hits home a little more, being home and being with my son, and I think it's going to be a really special night for not only me, but like I said before, for Anthony, my son, my fiance. So it's going to be a really good year.
Daniel Ponce de Leon at the plate. You know how cool that is? I mean, we get guys that played in St. Louis baseball because baseball's so big here, and now hockey, you're one of the first guys, generational wise, to get the chance to play in your hometown. It's unbelievable.
That is. I know, Paul.
I'm fired up.
I'm fired up too. It really is going to be a good year, and I'm glad that Doug Armstrong reached out to me and had the opportunity to talk with him and sit with him, and it really is cool because I actually am, besides Cam Jansen, me and him are the only two St. Louis natives that actually played for the St. Louis Blues. I guess Ben Bishop too. I don't know if he played or not, but it really is going to be a neat year. So I'm really excited about that.
It's phenomenal. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Castillo pitching to Daniel Ponce de Leon and Matt Carpenter at the on-deck circle. And Ponce strikes out. And first time through the lineup, that's 5 strikeouts, 3 in a row, 2 in this inning. And the batter will be Carpenter. It seems to be that the Cardinals and the Blues have a pretty good relationship. You know, the fans obviously support both franchises, but the players seem to support each other too.
I think so. I think from talking with the players, and they seem to really support the Cardinals, and the players really support each other. So we had that similar effect in Anaheim when I was playing with the Ducks. The Angels and the Ducks always collided, and we always hung out together, and we always, did things together as a team. So took in BP, throwing out first pitches. So I mean, it was really cool, and I'm glad the Blues do that with the Cardinals. So it really is a cool city to be a part of, and I'm glad I'm home and I'm playing for my hometown.
When does camp fire up?
2 weekends, September 14th.
You ready to go for that?
I'm ready to go. I'm excited, and it's, like I said, it's a little nerve-wracking because, like you said, you want to do well, and you want to come home, and you want to produce, and you want to make sure you're doing the right things and filling in right away, and so, but I think after camp and skating with the guys these last few weeks, I've been really settling in. I'm starting to get really comfortable, so I'm starting to be myself. So hopefully I can continue that.
1 ball and 2 strikes on Carpenter, who singled to right field his first time up. Our guest, Pat Maroon, the newest Blue, St. Louis native. And the next to Carpenter is taken for a ball. And then, it's camp is funny. I mean, spring training, it seems like it lasts forever in baseball. Hockey camp, it seems like it's a few games, few skates, few practices, fired up.
Yeah, you're back in it. I think we have 3 practices, and then we play a preseason game right away.
Unbelievable.
So
that's crazy.
You really got to get the engine going right away. So it's going to be an exciting year. So hopefully we, as St. Louis Blues players, we find a way to gel together after.
check in with Jim Hayes. Jimmy.
Danny, we had John Gant as our interview on the pregame show. John is a man of few words, and I got to be honest, my questions have been widely criticized, so I was pulled, and the right-hander Jack Flaherty did the interview. Jack was great. Gant actually was doing a fantastic job with his answers. The takeaway, Dan, was Flaherty will be doing the interviews for all of Gant's future post-game media sessions at John's request. The other takeaway from Flaherty's interview, Gant does have a black belt in Taekwondo, but he hasn't done it in a while, and the black belt is stuffed in the back of a drawer in a bureau somewhere.
Really?
So there you go.
So Jack was all about it, huh?
Did a great job. That guy can do a lot of things, and apparently he can do my job better than me.
I don't know about that, but it was good to hear John Gant communicate beyond just yes and no. Now, he won't do that with the media. I mean, he gives kind of the standard quick one-sentence answer, and not that he's not respectful to the media in any way. He's great, but he's just not a man of a lot of words, as Jimmy said. So you got to go to the bullpen, you bring in Flaherty, and you get the answers.
Well, he's a black belt. I mean, you don't have to be a man of many words.
Good point, too.
Really, when you've got that in your bureau.
I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah.
It's intimidating a little bit.
I would think so. I've heard of having a personal catcher. I had no idea you could do the same thing when getting interviewed, though.
Hamilton hits it out of play. Nice to visit with Pat Maroon and the Blues. The season coming up on Fox Sports Midwest. Open preseason play on September 18th. So a couple of weeks away, basically 2.5 weeks. They'll be in Dallas. Popped up again. Carpenter over. Foul territory and makes the catch. So no score as we play here with 1 out in the 4th. The 1928 jersey coming up. That's Friday, September 14th. The old school logo, the pinstripes. And it's presented by Old Dominion Freight Line. Cardinals.com/promotions. Blues have added Ryan O'Reilly. That was the big one. Tyler Bozak, backup goaltender David Perron back in St. Louis for a 3rd stint. Blues opening game is October 4th against Winnipeg. 2nd game of the season, October 6th. The Blackhawks in town. And the Blues will play 6 of the first 10 games at home with some of the renovations down the street. The new name, Enterprise Center. So looking forward to it. Blues hockey returning to Fox Sports Midwest, and it should be a fun year. 1 ball and 1 strike on Jose Peraza.
If you are a sports fan, if you're watching right now, you're obviously a Cardinal fan, a baseball fan, but if you're a sports fan, there is no better time of the year than right around now. Hockey season is approaching. College football kicking off mainly today. I know there were some games earlier throughout the week. NFL season getting going. Got a lot of reasons to hang out in front of the television.
Two and 2 the count. College football and Blues hockey. Cardinals postseason baseball maybe. 2-2. Into the gap in right center. Bader on the move. Won't get there. It's over his head. One hops off the wall, and Peraza has the first hit for Cincinnati ever against Daniel Ponce de Leon.
I'd say that was a pretty good run. Wow, for Daniel Ponce de Leon. They just were not seeing him well. He's executed so many good pitches. And you see him trying to go up in the zone. Does get one. Ends up staying center. Cut a little bit, though, does the fastball. And Peraza just gets a good swing on it. Bader just can't get there. Good piece of hitting.
So a man in scoring position, Joey Votto at the plate. It's still an incredible story for those that do not know, but Daniel Ponce de Leon fighting for his life. May 9th, 2017. Hit by a line drive in the head. Underwent surgery to help alleviate pressure on his brain. Obviously his season was shut down. Memphis made a run last year, all the way to a championship in the PCL. He threw out a ceremonial first pitch, and he would tell anybody that would listen, I'm coming back. Takes guts.
Oh, no question. You go through something like that when your thought isn't, oh, when am I going to play baseball again? It's when am I going to get out of this hospital? When is life going to be normal again?
I've often wondered what's going through his mind if he's watching a game or present and he sees a comebacker, not necessarily hitting a pitcher, but going by. See it time and again. I mean, the guts to get back on the mound, and you see the velocities that are being put out by the batters, well over 100 miles per hour. No time to react. Takes big guts.
And you see the way that he pitches. I mean, he goes right after hitters. There's nothing tentative about the way that he goes about his business. I would have to think that for most individuals, you go through something like that, there would be some changes. But he was relentless in the fact and the point that he was going to get back out there, do it again. And now he's doing it at the highest level.
3-1 in on the hands of Votto, and fouled back. On deck, Scooter Gennett. Big crowd. Food on the grill on a Saturday night. Beautiful evening here at Busch Stadium. Weather is ideal. And the Cardinals surging. A 3-2 pitch, and Votto hits it a ton out to right field. Martinez looks up, and it is off the wall. A run will score. Joey Votto on his way to second base, and it's 1-0 Cincinnati. So back-to-back doubles for the Reds to make it 1-0.
Well, Daniel's got a 3-2 count here on Joey Votto. He's trying to get this thing inside. Ends up just catching the heart of the plate, leaks back over that arm side run, and we've seen Joey Votto do a lot of this. Even though he chokes up, doesn't mean he doesn't still have a ton of power when he does so. And puts one in the gap and gives them the lead.
And now Scooter Gennett trying to bunt his way on, and they're going to let that roll, foul. Gennett just percentage points behind Christian Yelich at the start of play tonight for the batting championship. As we talked about, Jose Martinez right on their heels.
It was a good idea right there by Scooter Gennett. He saw an opening and went for it. Just a little bit too fine on that bunt. That was going to be a very difficult play for Matt Carpenter to make. And we saw that with Matt Carpenter. We know how well he's seeing the ball. We saw the home run early on in the game yesterday. Then we saw him drop down a bunt in the 8th inning. Sometimes you got to do the little things to get your team going. Matt Carpenter has no problem doing that. Scooter Gennett trying to do a little bit of it as well.
And the 0-1. The camera of Phil Nichols, a unique look at the back foot there of Gennett deep in the box. The 1-1 fouled back. Scooter Gennett, it was March 28th of 2017. Called into Craig Counsell's office, told he was going to be a Cincinnati Red in a waiver claim after being designated for assignment. Coming off a down year, Jonathan Villar was charging hard, and according to Scooter, he said the Brewers made the right move. He said, I would have done the same thing. No hard feelings. Now, he is asked, why are you having these really good years in Cincinnati? And he said, Milwaukee, and he was very blunt about it. He said, Milwaukee did not allow me to face left-handed pitching.
Just told him he couldn't do it.
Yep. The 2-2. You'll Notice that the Cardinals try to elevate a lot of times with Jeanette. Lower portion of the strike zone is where he gets his power.
And we've seen even in the first at bat, Daniel Ponce de Leon made a nice fastball, executed fastball in the inner half, got in his kitchen very well. There's room in there, but the danger zone is a lot like the pitch we saw to Joey Votto. If it leaks back over the plate, he can crush that pitch.
And the 2-2 fouled back again.
Tell you what, in a situation like that with Scooter Gennett, where you end up you're going to another team, you understand what's going on, and as he said, they did make the right move at that time. He'd have done the same thing. It's still a driving factor, isn't
Sure
it?
it is.
It's one of those things where it's like, all right, I know I've got more here. I know there's more in the tank than I've proven recently, and he's certainly proven it over there in Cincinnati.
2-2 to center. Bader coming in, gets it on a hop. Votto had to make sure that that ball dropped. And that's again maybe the speed of Bader coming into play, realizing the scouting report telling you that this guy's getting to everything, and Votto, that's in the back of his mind here.
Yeah, well, you know where he's playing. He's pretty deep right here. He might think DeYoung's able to get this one too. It's hard to get a read on exactly how that ball was hit, but either way, good hustle on both sides, and the key here is just keeping him right there. That's something Daniel did last time out very well. He found himself in a couple of jams against the Dodgers, but was continually able to execute that pitch that he needed to get out of it.
Room on the right side for Suarez. He's bounced into 11 double plays. There's strike one. Struck out swinging first time up. Ponce de Leon has struck out 4 on the night. Double by Votto, single by Jeanette. One out here in the top of the 4th. Reds trying to add to their 1-run lead. Done a good job getting in on a lot of hitters tonight.
It's important, especially as you try to set up your other pitches. If you can prove that you can execute on the inside, and he's done that to both lefties and righties already. We saw him get in there a little bit on Scooter. We've seen a couple of good pitches to a few different lefties. It'll set up that cutter away for him against the righties.
Here's the 0-2. One ball and 2 strikes. 2-2. And they're stretching a bit out in the Cardinal bullpen just in case. 26 pitches in this inning alone. Fouled back. Daniel became the 5th pitcher in the expansion era since 1961. Carry a no-hit bid through 7 innings in his debut. And you hear the different eras: dead ball, expansion era basically 1961 and beyond. The 2-2 pitch. League added the Angels, Washington Senators. Then in 62 you had the Colt 45s, New York Mets. It was the threat of the Continental League, so they expanded, and bye-bye to that league. 3-2 pitch, lifted in the air out to left, and this ball is off the top of the wall. Jeanette to third base, being waved in. The throw to the plate, they've got a shot. Couple of runs score, and that makes it 3-0.
Well, we just see this cutter here trying to go away, and you've seen him miss up in the zone a few times in this at bat. And then Eugenio Suarez gets one that he can handle, just misses getting out of the ballpark. Tyler O'Neill plays it pretty well off the wall. Munoz tries to make the throw on the run here. This ends up being a tough pick right there for Yachty.
And Suarez now is driven in 98. Mike Maddox out to visit. 3-0 lead for the Reds. So those 98 runs batted in, that ties Javi Baez for the National League lead.
You were talking about that contract that Suarez signed, $66 million, 5 years, I believe it was. That seems to be money well spent currently.
Big time.
It's a good player.
This day and age of baseball, that's potentially a steal. So runner at second base, still one out, 3-0 our score. And a ball to Scott Schebler. Right-hander begins to throw in the Cardinal pen. A trait of this team under Mike Shildt. Comeback wins. They were down 2-0 last night and now down 3-0 here. The 1-0. Tyson Ross. It's been a very good pickup for the Cardinals.
Certainly has. And you feel good deploying him in long relief. He's proven that he can spot start a game for you. He's got one heck of a track record in the big leagues, and just another nice piece for this team to have. You see the pitch count just balloon this inning, 32 so far. And we've just seen Daniel missing up in the zone quite a bit. Yachty trying to get him back in and throwing a couple of change ups, getting him focused down.
And he walked him. 39 pitches in the first 3 innings. And 33 now in this inning alone. A double, a single, a double, and a walk. Here's Phillip Ervin. And Ervin breaks his bat, and a base hit out to left just over the glove of DeYoung. And the bases will be loaded with Tucker Barnhart coming up.
Sometimes, Dan, when it rains, it pours. Feel like you execute a pitch, broken bat, and have to end up exiting a start a lot earlier than you'd like.
Well, he cruised for the first time in the lineup. It was 9 up and 9 down. 5 hits and a walk in this inning, and the Cardinals trailing by the score of 3-0. The bases loaded. So Daniel out, Tyson Ross coming in. 3-0 Reds. You have the 8th place hitter in Tucker Barnhart. And then the pitcher spot coming up. Our Chevy called to the pen. Like we're talking about, with the way that the team has played here recently, you just don't feel that you're out of games.
No, you don't. You feel like, I mean, there was a move right there. The Reds had something going. Mike Schilt and Mike Maddox talked it over and felt like it was time for a change. But this club, as you mentioned earlier, has been doing a great job of just regaining momentum. If in fact something happens against them, they're able to battle back. But it's about stopping the bleeding right now.
So the base is loaded. First pitch. Take it for a ball. Barnhart fly to left first time up. Has 1 grand slam in his career. 3 for 15 this season with the bases loaded. Ross thinking double play or strikeout. Get out of the inning. 2-0. Monday pitch Arsenal for Tyson Ross. Good slider.
Yeah, you don't generally see the slider percentage that much higher than the fastball, but he's got a really good one. He can throw it for strikes. You know, he's falling behind here. That's a good pitch for him. He's got good sink as well. Good pitch and a hitter count.
And the 2-0. 3-0. You've been in this spot where you're called upon, where the bases are loaded. There's pressure on that pitcher coming out of the bullpen to throw strikes.
There certainly is, and you know that it's a big spot, so you want to make sure that you're not filling up the middle of the zone, but you also can't be too fine. It's a delicate balance of trying to execute a good pitch while not falling behind.
And the 3-0 pitch by Ross. Back to Ross on a 3-0. Out there, it's a double play. On a 3-0. He gets a 1-2-3 double play. Fans 16 and older receive a replica 2013 National League Champions Mystery Player ring with a detachable base. It's a wearable ring courtesy of Edward Jones, and that's coming up Saturday, September 15th. There are so many scenarios that could have unfolded in front of this big crowd on a 3-0 count. The last that needed to happen for the Reds just did, a 1-2-3 double play.
I think that was the best scenario ever. But if in fact we were going to place odds on what I thought was going to happen, that would have been long ones right there.
Wow.
But great job just pumping a strike right there, taking advantage. They're trying to be aggressive. You know you have the pitcher up afterwards, so Tucker Barnhart's trying to make something happen. But generally, if you are going to have the green light, you're going to swing 3-0, you better know it's a baseball that you can drive. And he just gets eaten up right there. Incredible job. And we've been talking about momentum That's a momentum shifter right there. You're able to leave the bases loaded, get a big double play, and hopefully score some runs now.
To put it in perspective, it doesn't happen very often. 7th ground ball double play on a 3-0 count in all of baseball this year.
Yeah, that doesn't happen much.
And it's 2 balls and no strikes.
I can't recall ever that happening for me.
First time it's ever happened to Ross ever. He's got a lot of innings under his belt where it's gone a 1-2-3 with the bases loaded on a 3-0. The 2-0 pitch to Molina, and a strike and a good fastball at 97.
What do we always say? You're 1 pitch away. Now, you don't generally think it's the 3-0 pitch with the bases loaded, but you're 1 pitch away nonetheless.
Wow. A big happy 5th birthday to John Zegal, Cardinals fan watching, taking in Cardinals baseball. Happy 5th birthday to John. And a 3-1 pitch now to Yadier Molina. And it's a leadoff walk. Fox Sports Midwest, the mission continues, teaming up to help military veterans. Missouri Division of Youth Services for projects that will improve youth homes and activity areas. Visit missioncontinues.org. So after the double play, now you get a leadoff walk.
Well, Castillo, it looked like he was settling into it. It retired 9 in a row, had punched out 4 in a row. Close pitch on the walk.
And a strike to Martinez.
Tell you what, he's doing a very good job, though, of just being at the bottom of the zone. His slider has been good today. His changeup is the plus pitch. Hasn't even had to go to it quite as much.
There's the 0-1 pitch to Martinez. 0-2. Ground ball percentage last year for this right-hander was nearly 60%. So double plays were always something you thought about with a man on. This year it's at 45%, so a significant drop.
I think one of the keys for Castillo is just staying on top. When he gets side to side, you lose the sink, hence you lose the ground balls.
He's a guy that, even though he's very young, he's bounced around a lot. Signed as a international free agent by the Giants. Traded in 2014 to Miami for Casey McGee. Then traded to San Diego for Andrew Kashner and others. Here's a 1-2. And it's a ground ball out at second base. And in that Kashner deal, one of the players that was involved there was damaged goods. So he gets returned to Miami. How odd is that? Team trades you away and then you have to go back because,
hey guys,
yeah, the other player was damaged goods, and then he got traded to Cincinnati in the Dan Straley deal. So you get the idea. A lot of teams traded him, but a lot of teams wanted him too.
Well, I think that's the biggest thing when you move around like that. I mean, you're a prospect that people want. I know the Reds are really high on him. You've seen some great stuff. I mean, look at what we've seen so far tonight. He's got the fastball in the upper 90s. He's got a good changeup. Seems to have very good presence out there on the mound. Still trying to put it all together. The numbers haven't looked as good this year. Kind of a weird thing knowing the ballpark that they play in. But Castillo has a 6.55 ERA on the road this year. He struggled more away from Great American Ballpark than he has at home.
His last start, kind of an odd one. He was cruising, and then he allowed 5 runs on 5 hits. And that was a loss to the Cubs. And it wound up being his shortest outing of the year since April 27th. Similar to what we see tonight, where he got through the first couple of innings, breezed through it, and then ran into trouble. Here's a 1-1 pitch to Matt Adams. Inside, 2-1. Lefties love that fastball and slider at times that sits for Castillo. Lefty's hitting .303, the 15 home runs. And he's driven and seen 38 driven in against him from left-handed batters.
When that fastball and that changeup just stays flat, if that arm drops at all, that's good hitting.
2-2. Adams grounded out to first. 0 for 1. The 2-2. Full count. Does he get a fastball here? Got a 3-run lead. Adams has been struggling. You don't want to put the tying run at the plate in Tyler O'Neill. The 3-2 pitch. Got him. It's a changeup, and Adams strikes out.
Tell you what, he has got big time confidence in that pitch. We've seen a few of them already being able to execute it down in the zone. Good arm action. We've seen 97 down there with the fastball. Sells that 88 quite well. Hard to hold up on a pitch like that.
Tyler O'Neill grounded to third, first time up. 7 strikeouts for Castillo already. Not even through 4 innings. Billy Hamilton shading him a bit to right center, so big gap in left center. They're deep in left, and that's ball 1. And the 1-0 pitch. Again, that changeup.
Not afraid to use it to righties. I feel like that is an underused pitch, is the right-on-right changeup, especially if you sell it well. You don't get a chance to see it very often. He gets around that one a little bit, but the speed itself is what ends up keeping O'Neill off balance. Then follows it up with that sweeping slider. I've seen a couple of those where they've been really good. That had that good kind of slurvy action to it. He's had a few that he's pulled across the plate. I think that third pitch, and that's his third pitch there. The changeup, fastball changeup is 1-2. If he's able to get that pitch consistently, he's going to be really good.
Got him. Back-to-back strikeouts. 8 already for Castillo. Looks sharp through 4. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. With Brad Thompson, I'm Dan McLaughlin. Jim Hayes with us as well. Big crowd tonight. And a strike to Castillo. Ross got the 1-2-3 double play with the bases loaded on a 3-0 count. And last inning could have been much worse for the Cardinals. 0-2.
It's time for a quick inning. The Reds out there, a lot of pitches thrown. Need to be able to get back in. Don't give Castillo much rest.
There's a strikeout. First of the night for Ross. Back to the top of the lineup. You kept hammering the point last night that the Reds may not pitch well, but boy, do they hit. Do they have a lineup that's got length to it? Guys that can really do some damage. And third time through a lineup, you see it. It's Hamilton, it's Peraza, Votto, Jeanette, Suarez, Schebler.
Crooked numbers in a hurry. I mean, they have got that kind of team, and they've kind of proven that all year, but the pitching has been their downfall. You have a guy that's on top of his game. Castillo tonight, the only hit he's given up was Matt Carpenter, first batter of the game. You see how dangerous this club can be.
2 balls and no strikes. Hamilton is struck out and popped out 0 for 2. Jim Riggleman was talking with the Cincinnati media the other day as if he was coming back. You know, he said, well, if this happens and that happens next year, we can do this. And one of the things that he was talking about was their pitching staff. And there's a lot of decisions, not only with Jim and his staff, but the pitching. In particular, the starters. DeSclafani will go tomorrow. Do they bring back Matt Harvey? They've got Castillo to come back, the starter tonight. Homer Bailey is 1-13. Now he's owed $28 million. I thought it was roughly 25. It's $28 million next year. Robert Stevenson out of options. Hunter Green, the highly thought of prospect from 2 years ago, has been dealing with shoulder issues, just turned 19.
So you don't really want to rush that.
No. And their best prospects pitching wise are at single and double A. The last big free agent pitcher that they brought in, and I was doing some research on this, and I mean with a multi-year deal, there's a strikeout of Hamilton, was Eric Milton, lefty that pitched with Minnesota. I mean, they have not gone out and done that. The last really good pitcher they developed in their system, so brought him in, developed him in their system, made it to the big leagues, was Johnny Cueto.
Wow.
So I mean, they need pitching. That's the bottom line. They've got to get pitching to match some of the offense that they have here.
Well, and we've been very fortunate here. You look at what the Cardinals have been rolling out and how they've been doing it. It's not like the Cardinals are drafting very high and getting these picks early on in the draft. They're finding diamonds in the rough. They're getting great picks later. Credit to the scouting department. The Reds have had some higher picks. Now, they've spent a lot of them on position players, and you've seen some good ones there. But the pitching has been an Achilles heel, and you do wonder if and I realize that there's a business involved and there's only so much money you can spend, but is this the kind of year when you see the offense that you have? Is this an offseason where you make a little push and try to go acquire one of those starters if you believe you're close?
I would also say you're locked into Joey Votto. You're paying him a ridiculous amount of money, and he's not getting any younger. You know, he's still probably in the prime of his career, could put up big numbers, MVP type player, but you build around him. If you're not going to trade him, he stays here. It's a waste if you don't build around him.
I totally agree. He's one of those guys, while he's in your division, it's tough to say. You almost want to see him do a little winning. He's been one of the best in the game, and we know how things have gone for the Reds here the last couple of years. And the constant really has been that man right there. But when you see flashes like tonight, you see Luis Castillo doing the things that he does, and for them, they hope you get more roll out there like that.
Out at first, they just get Peraza, and a nice play by DeYoung. Coming up, DeYoung, Bader, and Munoz. 3-0 midway through 5.
Yeah, I'm here, Danny. Marcell Ozuna activated today. Mike Schultz saying Marcell will be available to pinch hit tonight. Ozuna had been on the DL with right shoulder inflammation. Schultz telling me today Ozuna's shoulder is much better. That goes for when he throws as well. That had been a problem. Ozuna has said, Danny, that he's been dealing with that shoulder issue off and on for a couple of years now. Hopefully it's behind him.
Well, that would be huge, and to get him back. And Jimmy, I'm curious. You had on the pregame show, and you did a great job last night finding this out. Here's a 1-0. That when Patrick Wisdom faced Dixon, the position player last night of the Reds, they actually were high school teammates. Is that right?
Yeah, they were high school teammates in California together. And Dixon said he didn't realize that he was going to be facing Wisdom until he was on the on-deck circle. And Wisdom said when he saw it was Dixon, you know, who's an infielder / outfielder, a position player just trying to help out doing a little pitching, he said he couldn't believe it. What are the odds of that? And he said he had a tough time keeping a straight face.
I bet. That was good stuff. So two guys make it to the big leagues, and they shouldn't be facing each other anyway, unless they're opposite teams. But I mean facing each other on the mound and at the plate. What are the odds of that? That's good stuff.
Baseball's a strange game, isn't it?
It really is. And Dixon got Wisdom to fly out. It was his second appearance in the month of August. Here's a 2-2, and a ground ball hit sharply to third. Dixon actually pitched against the Indians' top of their lineup and got them out 1, 2, 3 on 10 pitches in early August. And he was asked afterwards, what's your success? He said a 67-mile-an-hour cutter.
Yeah, in fairness, I didn't see 67 last night. I think I saw a 64 and a 63, but both were quite effective.
Oh, guys just aren't used to seeing it that slow.
Oh, it's tough. It really is.
Here's Harrison Bader trying to bunt his way on and bunts it foul. Pitch count at 66, and as we saw last night, you want to get into that Cincinnati bullpen.
Yeah, and Castillo isn't showing any signs of letting you in there. That being said, as you mentioned before, his last start he was cruising along until he wasn't as well. So it's all about stringing something together, put some pressure on him, and then see how he reacts. But he has looked great so far this game.
You can see the ribbon decals on the front of the jerseys of the players in yellow. I'm sure some fans have just tuned in wondering about that, and the wristbands yellow being worn by the players and the umpires. September, Childhood Cancer Awareness Month, and in partnership with Stand Up to Cancer, MLB and the clubs raise awareness for childhood cancer research and to battle that deadly disease. 2-1 the count. Chicago with a 4-1 lead over the Phillies. Milwaukee 2-0 over Washington. Cubs in the 6th, Milwaukee in the 5th. The 2-2. Changeup has been a good pitch tonight.
It really has, and it's he's still at the point too where some of them he gets around it. He doesn't necessarily have that fall off the table on every single one of them. We see him get on top of it a little bit better to the lefties, but just the speed and the fact that, as we were talking about, righties don't see the changeup from a right-hander that often. It really just takes them off their game.
Bring it to the count. Munoz at the on deck circle. Strikeout of Bader. That's 9 tonight. Want to buy or sell tickets at the last minute? Get the StubHub app and you can grab 100% MLB verified tickets up until the last minute. StubHub, official partner of the Cardinals. Strike one on Munoz. Oh, and 2. This guy's dealing.
Just continuing to pound the zone, mixing it up well. Ball is staying down for the most part. Even his misses have been good ones.
His career high is 10 strikeouts. He's 1 strike away from matching that. Did that June 9th of this year against the Cardinals. Last year against the Brewers. And he's got 9 tonight, with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th. And a grounder. Peraza to his left, and he makes the play. Cardinals go in order. St. Louis with 1 hit tonight. That was Carpenter to start the game. That's been it. On a 3-0 with the bases loaded, 1 out. This turns into a double play. By the way, how about the play there by Molina on a throw that was wide?
Yeah, caught him across the bag. Did a very good job of staying on there and then clearing himself, making a good throw. He knew he had time with Barnhart running. And it hasn't happened yet. That momentum shift. But you hold them to 3 runs right there. You got 1 out, bases loaded. Ross comes into that ball game in a 3-0 count. You expect it to get a lot worse than it did. And they're able to get out of that thing. We've seen this team so many times here in recent weeks be able to put up that crooked number. Got a feeling they'll have the ability to do it again. Castillo's throwing the ball fantastic. He looks awesome. But at some point, he's either going to make a mistake or you're going to get in that bullpen.
There's Joey Votto. Double, run scored, RBI back in the 4th. It's when the Reds got their 3 runs. And Votto hammers one down the right field line, but foul.
You see Joey in the box. He does a lot of talking to himself, and you can tell he's thinking through every scenario. He's an incredibly smart hitter. We know the approach that he has, the great eyeball. He's thinking through everything.
Can't remember a time when I thought Joey Votto gave up an at bat. Whether they're up by a lot, down by a lot, competes. And this time he strikes out.
Very nice slider right there, 2 in a row. Both of them just starting on that outer half, just boring inside there on Joey Votto. We know how good he is getting extended. This thing just goes right down and in.
3rd strikeout for Ross. The batter will be Jeanette, who's 1 for 2 with a run scored. And a slider. Strike one.
Well, we showed the percentages earlier. He throws that pitch about 43% of the time. He's got great feel for it. He can throw it strike one. He can also get it in there on you.
Like that. Nothing in two.
Pulls one across right there. It's a good pitch. You got to be able to pitch inside also. Can't just let anybody feel comfortable, and he gets that one in there. Darn near hit him.
Ross, not a lot of extra motion with his windup. Big guy and just a little step back, and here you go. Fly ball into left. There's Tyler O'Neill. Tyson Ross is doing his job right now. Will Luke Weaver do his tomorrow? It's our Budweiser What's on Tap. Weaver back in the rotation. Anthony DeSclafani for the Reds, and will come your way at 12:30 on Fox Sports Midwest. So 2 outs and Suarez. Strike one. Ross did make a spot start. The final of a long road trip that ended up in Kansas City on a Sunday afternoon. Picked up a win. It's been used out of the bullpen. Kind of the long man, the cleanup man.
It's a role that I believe is very undervalued. Incredibly important to be able to eat up some innings.
Knocks it down. Flips to first. And a 1-2-3, a 10-pitch inning. He's due on first when we come back. Ball, and it's Luis Castillo, and he is dealing Brad Thompson tonight.
He really is. He's showing it all off. He's got the 97 to 99 at the bottom of the zone. A ton of good changeup so far to righties and lefties, and a sweeping slider. I mean, that entire arsenal of Castillo's is working this evening.
9 strikeouts. Tyson Ross will hit, and he takes a ball. Ross, by the way, has faced 7 and gotten 8 outs. The double play, and he settled right in. Always find it interesting in this type of move. If you're Mike Schilt, rosters have expanded, so you do feel protected, you would think, in your bullpen. More options off your bench. Carson Kelly called back up, and Ross picks up a base hit. The point being, of course, this happens when he gets a hit.
Yes,
like
go
that.
on.
But the point being, you know, you're down by 3. Do you sacrifice him rolling along to get a position player to hit, but he answers with a base hit.
Well, I tell you what, it is a very difficult call, and I'm sure that one Mike Shilton and the entire staff were kicking around, but he is throwing the ball so well. He's giving you a chance to get back in there. Added benefit that he was able to do something there with the bat.
Here's Carpenter. Last hit was July 28th against Arizona for Tyson Ross. Now with 7 hits this year. Carpenter, the other base hit. Only 2 tonight for the Cardinals. And a strike. Mentioned that Matt Carpenter, part of the Speakers Series, September 11th. Hear from Matt. Get his It's Gotta Be the Salsa t-shirt, which will go to Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital. That's coming up September 11th, the Speaker Series. Kubota Power Stats for the man that has 35 home runs. Cardinals left-handed batters with 35 or more. Carpenter, Edmonds, the man, and Mize. Kubota Power Stats. What a group.
It's a pretty good list to be on.
Ooh.
Pretty good right there. We know that Castillo's been throwing the ball really well, but it's one hanging changeup away.
Get out of play. Fastball at 97.
Really excited to go with you to that Speaker Series as your +1.
I thought about it last night. You're in.
Did you tell Rick?
You're in.
Okay.
Those tickets, it's an afternoon here at the ballpark, will be at cardinals.com/speaker series. Those are always fun for me to do, and players get a kick out of it. Fans do as well. There's a 1-2 pitch. See Carpenter just trying to spoil it or take it the other way. I mean, there's a ton of room on the left side of the infield.
Well, I think that Matt Carpenter knows that one right there too. 98 miles an hour. It's probably a ball off of the strike zone. His eye is that good where he knows that even at 98, but it was called earlier. Same pitch. You just got to be able to battle. You got to fight it off. You got to give yourself a new life. And he is very good at that, just spoiling good pitches until he gets one he can drive.
And the 1-2 pitch to Carpenter. Ooh. He was on it. You could just tell with that kind of swing, when he lets it rip like that, he's on it.
Well, that was that one right there. That was that changeup that Castillo, as opposed to having that big time sink and that arm side run, he pulls across it a little bit right here, and it ends up being center cut, and Carp just misses this thing.
Beat the shift with a soft liner to right, first time up. Pitch number 85. And Carpenter strikes out.
Well, there was the good changeup right there. 89, bottom drops out of it, and the way that Castillo is throwing the ball right now, you're probably going to get maybe one opportunity per at bat. Maybe. I mean, if he makes a mistake, you're going to have to be able to capitalize on it. He's just so locked in right now.
It's 10 strikeouts to match his career high. Third time he's done that in his career. Yadier Molina. For the Reds, Castillo is due up fourth, and something you'd like to see is, even if the Cardinals can't get to him in this inning, get the pitch count up.
Absolutely. Spoil some pitches again, like we were talking about with Matt Carpenter. Make him work a little bit and make it a tough decision for Jim Riggleman as if he wants to send him back out there or not.
Here's a 1-0. 1 ball and 1 strike, and that might be the mindset right now of the Cardinals. Carpenter, you know he'll go deep into a count, but Yadi waiting until he got a strike. Jose Martinez on deck. Ross, the runner at first base. 2 strikes.
Bought enough food for the entire section? We understand. Great Southern Bank. We're fans too.
Well, I'll tell you what, you see those pitches right there. Castillo is not missing very often the heart of the plate. We saw the one change up to Carpenter that missed middle. Outside of that, he has worked so well on the corners, missing off the plate, missing down.
Been very good with a changeup tonight. There it was again, and Yachty hits it out to Hamilton. And the catch is made for out number 2. Had him out in front. We talked about it, the righty changeup. You don't see it a lot, but we're seeing it tonight.
Oh, it is effective, and even if it doesn't have that perfect run, once again, it's just effective to get the hitter out in front. That's what you're trying to do with it. You're not necessarily trying to strike out the world. He's just going out there and attacking, trying to get that weak contact, and those swing and misses have just been a product of his good delivery and that good arm action. And you see right there, Yadier Molina, a very good hitter out in front.
So the runner at first base, and now Jose Martinez. And a ball. Martinez has struck out and also grounded out.
I think that's going to be the pitch right there. It's going to be the slider. If he's going to make a mistake that you're going to do some big time damage on, it's going to be his third pitch. We've seen some great ones tonight, but if one's going to spin out of his hands, it's going to be that.
Fastball and a strike. 97, so not losing much at all with the velocity on his fastball. He's been hovering right around 97, 98 all night. They're straight away in the outfield. The vicious rip, 1 and 2. Statcast AI powered by AWS. Seen it time again. Well, he'll go to right field, and there's room on that right side of the infield.
I know we live in a world of the shift, and you want to use the numbers. Not much you can do with that when a guy spreads the ball all over the place. The only thing you can do is play him straight up.
One ball, 2 strikes. Got him. That's 11 strikeouts and a new career high for Castillo. 3-0 as we head to the 7th. States on Thursday, September 13th. 20,000 fans 16 and older take home their very own September T-shirt of the month that commemorates the salsa craze. Designed by Fresh Brewed Teas. Tickets at cardinals.com/promotions. So Tyson Ross still in the ball game. Schebler, Irvin, Barnhart, and then we'll see Castillo's spot. We were wondering, Jim Riggleman, what would be the decision? Well, now it's easy. He goes back out.
I think it's very easy at this point. The pitch count's still manageable. He is dominating. I'm not making any changes if I'm Jim Riggleman.
It's 93 pitches through 6 innings. Schebler has flied to center and also walked. And the 1-0. Fans to our left trying to start the wave, and as I look closely there, it's Jim Hayes trying to start it. Right over here.
I knew he looked familiar.
Yeah, it's Jim. He absolutely loves the wave, and he's trying to get it going here at the ballpark.
I feel like if you're going to follow somebody around here, Jim Hayes is probably like a good one.
Yep. You look closely in that sea of red, you'll see Jimmy. That's a fair ball, and it's deadened off the sidewall, and so Schebler trots into second base with a stand-up double.
Well, we saw him last night seeing the ball really well. Even his fly out to center in the second inning was hit well. And this is just a breaking ball. You see the dot on it just kind of spinning right there. Able to keep this thing fair inside the line.
So the runner at second base, Phillip Ervin, at the plate. Cardinals anticipating potential of a bunt. Schebler now has doubled in 3 straight games. On base for the second time tonight. Ervin is grounded to third and also singled to left.
There is very little breathing room in this Reds lineup. I mean, they are deep. Irvin has done a very good job for them since getting called up around the All-Star break.
He's a former top pick. Out of play, nothing at 2. Wants to drive him in or hit it to the right side. That backs up, but take it for a ball. And the 1-2 pitch. Got him to reach. It's popped up. Big City over and makes the catch. Heads up, knowing Schebler might tag up. Nice play by Matt Adams.
Matt had to go a long way to get this thing. Very heads up here too, because you know Schebler's thinking if he ends up tripping or falls near the rail that he's going for it. Spins and makes a nice throw. Cardinals offensively haven't been able to get it going yet. Did give up that 3 spot in the 4th inning, but it's about keeping it there. You keep this thing manageable, you know this ball club's always got a chance.
And a strike. Tucker Barnhart, one of the key plays on both sides in this ball game. Bases loaded, 1 out. And a 3-0 pitch by Tyson Ross. The first batter that he saw turned into an inning-ending 1-2-3 double play. The 0-1. Here's a 1-1 to the switch hitting catcher, and a base hit into right field. They're going to wave him in with the pitcher coming up. The throw by Martinez to the plate, and the tag not in time. No argument from Yadier Molina. Run scores 4-0. Well, that's one that really frustrates you with the pitcher coming up and first base open.
Oh, no question. Jose Martinez does a very good job. Comes up throwing here, fields it clean, makes a perfect throw on that long hop. Just a hair too late to get Schebler at the plate. But you're absolutely right with Castillo coming up. You just know if you're able to get to him, you'd like your chances here. That's a big run.
So 1 out and a runner at first. 4-0 our score. Reds have now out hit the Cardinals 7-2. Showing bunt. Here's a 1-0 pitch. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Castillo doesn't look overly comfortable up there trying to lay that bunt down. Just trying to make something happen.
A ball and a strike. Third baseman Carpenter way in at third. Adams holding at first. Castillo gets the bunt down. Ross gets the out. Munoz at the bag at first. There's 2 away. TD Ameritrade teaming up with the Cardinals to bring fans $6 tickets. Cardinals host the Pirates September 10th through the 12th. $6 TD Ameritrade tickets now at cardinals.com/TDA. There's Billy Hamilton with a runner at second base. And the corner's in for Billy, who has struck out twice and also popped out. Broken bat slowly hit to Munoz. Time to stretch on this Saturday night at Busch. Reds add to their lead. Adams, O'Neill, DeYoung all coming up. First batter of the game, and Tyson Ross back in inning number 6. That has been it. 93 pitches for Luis Castillo. 6 innings, 2 hits, 11 strikeouts, a career high. The Cardinals have Adams, O'Neill, DeYoung coming up.
There are some games when you watch a pitcher go out there and you see the line and it looks impressive, but you can tell that there have been a lot of missed opportunities. That has not been the case for Luis Castillo tonight. He has done a great job of just being down in the zone, mixing up his pitches very well. And you see that. I mean, it seems like time after time you see the strike zone there up on the screen. He is on the corners, he's on the edges.
One ball and 1 strike on Matt Adams. Grounded to first and struck out. And the 1-1. Adams hits it sharply, and what a play here. It's a big league play by Suarez. Ball was scorched.
I mean, that ball might have caught him. Great hands right here, just on him quickly. They've got the shift on. He's the only man over there, and it goes right to him, but it's hit hard. He picks it clean. We talk a lot about his bat, and rightfully so, but he's got very good hands over at third base. This entire infield for the Reds can pick it pretty well.
O'Neill with a fly ball into right. This will be 2 quick outs. And if he gets a 3rd quick out, Jim Riggleman is saying, hey, we may go for the 1 more inning.
I think you give him the halfway listening. You good? Perfect. You always want to have the communication. You always want to look at pitch counts. 97 right now for Luis Castillo, but you need to trust your eyeballs. Also, the eye test is big, and the eye test is telling you he's not slowing down.
46,368. 20th sellout of the year.
Another thing to think about with Castillo, he's had extra rest. He's had a week in between his starts. And the last one that was cut short, he only threw 65 pitches in that one, so you'd believe that there's a little bit more in the tank for him this evening.
You think you find out a little bit more about your pitcher too, where you say, in this day and age of analytics, guys feel, okay, I've gone 6 innings, I've done my job. What about 7, 8, and 9?
Well, I don't think that anybody's throwing the ball the way that he is going to say, yeah, I'm good, I'm fine. I mean, you smell it at this point. And I know that you don't see it as often. You don't see starters getting this deep into ball games, but when you're throwing the ball this well, you want to keep rolling out there.
2 balls and a strike. DeYoung twice is grounded out to third. Good fastball. That one at 98. But this guy has been awesome tonight.
He's done a very good job of just limiting the big inning in the 4th for the Cardinals. Ponce de Leon threw 30 some odd pitches. His highest so far has been 19.
David Hernandez throwing in the pen for the Reds. This big crowd trying to make a little noise. Only 2 hits tonight. The 3-2 pitch, and he walked him. Cardinals have not had a base runner get to third. That's going to be it.
I think that's good news.
Yeah, the Cardinals might be saying thank you. Career high 11 strikeouts, and now they get into their bullpen. Can they come back late? We step aside. Foundation of Missouri. So 2 outs, runner at first, and Castillo now out of the game. Hernandez in. The batter will be Harrison Bader. Cardinals have not had a base runner get to third yet tonight. Archevy called to the pen.
Well, David Hernandez has been one of the guys in that Reds bullpen that has thrown the ball all year pretty darn well. You see the ERA very low in 46 games for them. Iglesias will be the guy to follow, you would believe, if this game stays tight.
So 2 outs and a runner at first base. Big rip by Bader for strike 1. One ball and 1 strike. Outfield straight away.
Well, this has been the opportunity that the Cardinals have been waiting for. Get into that bullpen, as well as Hernandez has been throwing the ball all year. Going to be tough to duplicate what Castillo was able to do in this one.
In on his hand, strike 2. There's just sometimes a guy every 5th day or extra day rest, he comes out, and that's baseball where everything is working, and that was the case tonight with Castillo.
The funny thing about the extra rest is you see some guys that just don't like it.
Yeah.
Some guys that they feel like their first couple of innings out there, they're still trying to get a feel and trying to get back into the swing of things. Other times you're rejuvenated. You've had an opportunity when you have that long in between starts. If there's something that went awry in your last start, which it did for Castillo against the Cubs, you were able to work on that. You were able to bear down, and he certainly did that. I know what the overall numbers look like for him on the year. He didn't pitch like those numbers.
And Bader hits a high fly ball. Billy Hamilton backs up a few steps to put it away. Cardinals strand a runner. It's 4-0 as we head to the 8th. is brought to you by Budweiser. Wherever legendary MLB moments happen, Budweiser will be there. And by Ford, going further so you can. The BJC Healthcare difference maker came into the ballgame with the bases loaded, 1 out, and got this double play on a 3-0 pitch. And since that time has allowed just 1 run, so kept the Cardinals in this ballgame. St. Louis trailing by the score of 4-1 or 4-0, and that's your BJC Healthcare difference maker.
Tyson Ross doing a great job just keeping the club in this game. And I know it's September. I know rosters are expanding, and you should see more and more out there. But the Cardinals added 1 pitcher, I believe, in Webb. We've had a few guys that have been working quite a bit. This is big to be able to eat up this many innings.
There's Jose Peraza. Something to consider. The Reds are last in runs allowed in the National League and 7th in runs scored. So a couple of frames to go. We'll see if the Cardinals can't come back. 2 balls and a strike. Peraza, Votto, and Jeanette. There's Bader going back and makes the catch.
Watching the 2-0 while your friends go for the steal? We understand. Great Southern Bank. We're fans too.
Joey Votto, RBI double, run scored back in the 4th. Couple of strikeouts tonight. The Cardinals have, by the way, looking ahead, Munoz, then a pinch hitter, and Carpenter coming up. Ground ball. Adams. Ross, 2 away.
It's a quick out on a tough hitter right there. Last time he was able to punch him out. A couple of good sliders. This time throws him a nice fastball. Have a feeling he's going to be aggressive. Well executed pitch. Get that quick out.
Here's Scooter Gennett with 2 outs. And Gennett takes a ball down and in. Scooter tonight with a ground out to second, flied out to left, and also a base hit to right and a run scored. It's a 3-run 4th inning that chased Daniel Ponce de Leon, and they added 1 in the 7th. 1 ball and 1 strike. This is the longest career relief outing now for Tyson Ross. Previous was 4 innings pitched, May 11th, 2013.
It's not an easy job to do, to sit down there in the bullpen. You don't know exactly when this day is going to be. We're going to have to go out there and get extended.
Diving stop by Adams, and that saves an extra base hit.
That was a great play right there. I think he dove right into first base umpire Ed Hickok's over there. Maybe that's what jarred that ball loose.
Good look at it here.
It is. That was a heck of a play. Ed Hickok's nowhere to go on that one. But Matt Adams, if he's not there, makes a play right there, and they're out of the inning.
So 2 outs and a runner at first, and here's Suarez. Ross trying to keep it a 4-run deficit. And that pitch up and in. Tyler Webb had been throwing in the Cardinal bullpen. He was just recalled. And the 1-0. 1 ball and 1 strike.
We can see Tyson Ross filling up the strike zone. Just doing a very good job staying ahead for the most part. Throwing the fastball in. That was a very nice one right there to Suarez. If you want to throw that slider off, but he's going to double up.
And a grounder left side deep in the hole to Young. Adams off the bag. Runners at first and second.
Not a ball that's hit very hard right there, but you saw Yachty was setting up on the inner side. Wanted that fastball in again, just leaked over just enough for him to put it in play. You see Yachty set up, you see the crossfire there. And where that ball's placed, there's not too much Paul DeJong can do with that one.
Well, one of the decisions now for the Cardinals. Do you bring in a lefty to face Schebler in this spot? Now, as I mentioned, Webb had been throwing. So this will be a long visit by Mike Maddox to buy you some time. Webb gets loose quickly. And it looks like they're going to let him face him. And the interesting aspect of this is that against left-handed pitching, this is why Schebler's batting .352. And right-handers, much different story, .236.
Sometimes the thing that looks the most obvious on the surface isn't always the answer.
Right. For the Reds, you're thinking about an inning out of Hernandez to get to Raisel Iglesias. Really good closer. Pitched Wednesday against Milwaukee, but did take the loss that 11-inning game. 2 on, 2 outs. This guy's dangerous. He's always hit the Cardinals well, it seems like.
Well, he's hit the ball hard the last couple of days. Even his outs have been hard.
And the 1-0. Hit hard, but backhanded by Munoz. Tyson Ross comes in and does an outstanding job tonight with only 1 run allowed. 4 2/3. It's 4-0. is with his coaches and the players and suggestions and listening. And this may be the case where Mike Maddox, watch this, little fist bump. Maybe Mike Maddox said, hey, keep in Tyson Ross. I like that move.
Yeah, give me one more.
Right.
Give him one more. I like this matchup. And that's why you put together a staff. That's why you have this group of minds all coming together to make a decision. Ultimately, it's Mike Schildt's job to have the last word. But that word comes in with a lot of careful consideration. It comes in with a lot of minds. And Mike Maddox a good one.
2-0 on Munoz. Ray Garcia at the on-deck circle. Hernandez on the mound. The wheels turning on both sides. As Munoz jumps on the pitch, yanks it foul. You know, we've seen at times with Mike Schildt, puts a man on deck to put it in the mind of the opposition that, hey, you got a lefty or a righty, mix and match, then pull back a guy like Garcia to get the matchup he really wants.
Yeah, and a reminder, Marcell Ozuna has been activated. Get something going. Maybe you want to get him in there.
Just something to think about. That's been one of the parts of Mike Schildt, though, listening to the players, his coaches, taking it all in, and sometimes rolling the dice and saying, okay, you got it, let's do it.
I'll tell you what, you trust in your players, they'll trust in you. And I think trust is you have to earn it, both sides. But there has to be a good working relationship there. And it seems like they've got a very good one here with this ball club.
And a 3-1 pitch. Munoz pops it up. Foul territory, and the catch is made. So Garcia now pinch hits in this spot. So Tyson Ross, 4 2/3, gave up 1 run, kept the Cardinals in this. So 1 out and nobody on. And a strike to Garcia. One ball and 1 strike. And Garcia lifts it in the air. Backing up Hamilton. On the track making the catch. Final line on Ross, 4 2/3, 4 hits, a run, no walks, struck out 3, and we're back to the top of the lineup, and the Cardinals have 4 outs to play with. And a ball to Carpenter.
Usually in a game like this, when you're in the 8th inning, you haven't scored any runs yet, you can look back and say, man, there have been a lot of missed opportunities in this ball game. The way that Luis Castillo threw the ball, there were very few opportunities to get anything going so far. Still a little bit of time, though, as you said. This ball club has had the flair for the dramatic.
And you still have to go through Carpenter here. Ozuna potentially coming off the bench. Jose Martinez might win a batting title. Matt Adams still waiting for him to have one of those big moments, so you just never know. Here's a 2-0 pitch. Hernandez to Carpenter. And Hernandez has had his way with Matt. Carpenter 0 for 5, 4 strikeouts in his career against this right-hander. Matt with one of the 2 Cardinal hits, the other by Tyson Ross. Molina at the on-deck circle. And a 2-1 pitch. Changeup had him out in front. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The 2-2. Full count. The 3-2 pitch now to Carpenter. And he walked him. So again, an inning in which the Cardinals get a base runner on. Can they do something with it?
Well, you got your right part of the lineup up. Matt Carpenter, you know he doesn't expand the zone very often. It's time to get it moving.
Double switch coming up. Schebler will come out of the game, it looks like. That's Iglesias. Jim Riggleman not wasting any time, not taking any chances. Wants to play spoiler, wants a win for Castillo, who was magnificent tonight. 4-0 our score. 2 outs. Molina coming up when we come back. Is in. We've seen that this young man could do when right. Nasty. 24 saves, 28 opportunities in our Chevy call to the pen. And the batter will be Yadier Molina. If you're wondering, Yadi 3 for 14, pair of doubles. Hit by a pitch, 4 strikeouts against Iglesias. Well, they're trying to make some noise tonight. Big crowd, but not a lot of offense. The chance of Yadi here at Busch Stadium. And that pitch right there, an equalizer. against right-handed batters. He can throw upper 90s. He's hit triple digits, but he has a filthy slider.
Yeah, he does. And you know Yachty in these spots, he likes to be very aggressive. Iglesias knows that as well. And just puts that one down and away. Perfect pitch.
Nothing in 2. Back-to-back sliders.
Iglesias going back to the slider.
And the 1-2 pitch. Hit down the right field line and out of play.
Yachty does a great job of fouling off the fastball away. Iglesias wants it again. Iglesias already this season got 9 saves of more than 1 inning, so he's been called upon in such situations a few times.
And the 2-2. Full count on Molina. Runner at first, off with a pitch. That's Carpenter. Jose Martinez at the on-deck circle. Three-2. He walked him. Carpenter a walk, Molina a walk, and now Martinez with Adams at the on-deck circle.
Well, this place got pretty loud pretty quick, didn't it? That's been the hallmark of this ball club. Look, things have not gone their way offensively so far today. Castillo threw the ball well. Hernandez threw the ball well. We know how great Iglesias is, but this club doesn't give in. Get a couple of guys on.
Want to know the count on Martinez. And the 1-0.
Gets right back into that one off the plate just a tiny bit.
Martinez not liking the call. Trying to extend the inning to Adams and have a chance to maybe tie it up. Ooh, nearly a wild pitch. 2-1 the count.
Iglesias, as nasty as he is, he has given up a run in each of his last 3 outings. Doesn't happen very often for him. The Cardinals trying to make it 4.
The 2-1, 2-2. He got him. Cardinals cannot get a run. It's 4-0 as we head to the 9th. th appearance for the Cardinals. The Cubs beat the Phillies tonight 7-1. The Brewers lead the Nationals 3-1 in the 8th, and they're in a rain delay at Nationals Park. Our score 4-0 in favor of the Reds as we move to the top of the 9th.
Well, you see the ERA there for Tyler Webb approaching 5. As far as I'm concerned, he's got a 0 because that's what he's done as a member of the St. Louis Cardinals since being acquired by the Padres. He's been very steady, pounding the strike zone and getting outs.
Marquia drive to success, and this is what he's done with St. Louis. To further your point, 7 2/3 and a 0 ERA, only 6 hits in 7 2/3. So done a nice job, albeit brief, but when called upon, done the job.
That's all you can ask is when you do get an opportunity, be ready for it. It's another one for him here. Keep this ball game close enough. The Cardinals have put up crooked numbers in the past and certainly can do so again.
First pitch to Phillip Ervin, and a fly out to center.
Oh, there's still a lot of work to be done for the Cardinals to be in the postseason, sitting in the first wild card currently. But you know how the postseason goes, Dan. There's plenty of matchups. You need lefties in that bullpen that you feel like you can go to. And I feel like every time out there for a guy like Tyler Webb, it's an audition. You want to be that guy.
And there's a ball down and in to Tucker Barnhart. One ball and one strike. The Cardinals will have Adams, O'Neill, and DeYoung. Looking ahead to the bottom of the 9th, they trail 4-0. Hit up the middle and a base hit past DeYoung. Reds have now out-hit the Cardinals 10-2 in the ball game.
Just end up just staying belt high right here, just out of the reach of Paul DeJong.
Mason Williams will be the batter. Came in as part of the double switch, playing in right field as he replaced Schebler. And a ball down low. 1-0. Arizona leading the Dodgers early on. That's in the bottom of the third, 1-0. Rockies leading San Diego 3-2 in the bottom of the fifth. All these games with such importance. The wild card and potentially maybe the Central Division for the Cardinals. 1-1 the count.
Well, I know it would be very nice and it would be fun for the Cardinals to be in a position where they've got a commanding lead of the division and you know exactly what your future looks like. As a baseball fan in general, the National League is going to be a lot of fun to watch this month of September. Because the American League is all but sewed up. You've got some juggernauts out there. You've got some big leads. A couple of teams jockeying for the wild card. The A's have been a great story throughout the year.
Red Sox have been remarkable, running away with the American League East, it looks like. Yeah, I'm with you. The National League in the final 4 weeks. Your scoreboard watching every pitch with great importance. You play so long in a season, you just hope your team, your favorite team, has got a chance.
Well, and I do believe there is something to be said for momentum going into the postseason, and teams in the National League are going to have some of that because the games are going to mean a lot down to the wire, and then you roll into the playoffs and who knows.
2 balls and 2 strikes. And that's hit out of play. And the 2-2 back to Webb. It's a double play. Final hope coming up for the Cardinals. A double play turn by Webb. Right back at you. 4-0 our score. Yeah, Ricky, that pretty much sums it up. Castillo, terrific tonight for the Reds. Cardinals just 2 hits. Here's Adams. 4-0 our score. Happy 60th birthday to Colin C. Who's a longtime Cardinals fantasy camper there year after year. So happy 60th birthday to Colin C. 1 ball and 1 strike on Adams.
He's 60 years old. He plays more innings than I do every time. I take breathers. I didn't know he was going to be 60. I have to work out this year.
2 strikes on Matt. Cardinals have Adams here, then O'Neill and DeYoung.
Tell you what, this ball game felt like it was going to be a little bit different. One of those 2 hits, Matt Carpenter's, it was the first batter of the game. You figured they're setting the table, going to get something going, but Luis Castillo did a fantastic job throughout this one. Iglesias came in, got the final out of the 8th inning. Currently up to 16 pitches. You hope that you can run that up even more. The goal is to come back and win this game, no question about it, but there is still some gamesmanship for tomorrow if you're able to get the pitch count up and hopefully make him unavailable.
Three and 2 the count on Adams. Hits it the other way, but lines out.
Well, I think this is a pretty good sign here for Matt Adams being on to stay on this fastball or this pitch off speed away and be able to drive it to left field. That's good timing right there for him. Waiting for it to all sync up. I think all these ABs that Adams getting right now is really going to benefit him down the stretch. No matter what his role ends up being, we know how great he can be off the bench as a pinch hitter. But getting that timing back right now is going to help out.
A slider and a strike on O'Neill. Paul DeYoung at the on-deck circle. Cardinals need base runners. 1 out here in the bottom of the 9th. Castillo, the starter for the Reds, if you just joined us, struck out a career high 11. He had it going tonight. Everything. Changeup, slider, fastball that was 97, 98 all night. And the 1-1. Fouled back, 2 strikes on O'Neill. Reminder, it's a day game tomorrow as we wrap up the homestand. Luke Weaver and Anthony DeSclafani. Pre-game show at 12:30. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
I'm sure the scouting report on Tyler O'Neill is that he will chase. The slider down the way is a good pitch against him. I think we've seen him do a better job of fighting that one off. Good pitch right there, though.
Nasty. Luis Castillo in our Budweiser plays of the game. The starter tonight for the Reds, 6 2/3. 2 hits, no runs, only 2 walks, and struck out a career high 11 here in game number 2.
Well, he gave up a hit to start the game and then was on cruise control after that. And as you mentioned, had it all working. And for Luis Castillo, whose year has been up and down, I mean, he shows you the flashes. That probably the best start of the year for him. They hope that he can just repeat something like that, build off of it, because they need that guy in their rotation.
And the Cardinals down to their final strike. DeYoung at the plate, 0-2 the count. And the 0-2 pitch. Trying to extend the ball game to Bader, who's at the on-deck circle. Tapped foul, stays alive.
Pitch count up to 27 now for Iglesias. Once again, maybe not as important this evening.
Struck him out. That's how the ball game ends. 4-0. A shutout for Cincinnati as they take game 2. Old-fashioned hardball in the final pitch of the game.
Well, the slider is very good, but Iglesias has got a big-time fastball. Shows it off there. Tough day for the Cardinals hitter. Sometimes you're going to run into that, but you got an opportunity to come in, take the rubber game tomorrow, and win an 11th straight series.
Post-game show comes your way next.